This year's team was kind of part of an ongoing plan to send more and more teams to Paraguay, where we can assist local people on the ground that are just trying to give love and care and opportunities for a lot of kids. So this organization we partner with down in Paraguay right now is feeding about 12,000 kids a week with nutritious meals and a proper opportunity to eat during the week. And then we've come alongside and said, how do we train and develop volunteers to run sports programs? So really our women's soccer team was going to fit into that plan, and it was really fun for us to contribute to a bigger vision that both had started numbers of years ago. Other Trinity teams have been there, and we got to play our part in that expanding vision.
So a lot of what we did was going into communities all around Paraguay and serving and basically just showing the love of God, and a lot of times that involved us playing the sport we loved, which was awesome, and whether that was playing against the national team or just kicking around with little kids, we were able to build relationships through that, and I thought that was awesome.
We worked with a few missionaries who had set up churches in those communities and got to work with them and the schools that they have set up and play with kids, paint the schools, paint school equipment, and just have a lot of fun.
Well, I mean, the joy for us at Trinity is, we want to continue to serve, we want to continue to provide our athletes opportunities to experience new things, new cultures, use the tool of sport to impact many people's lives. But I think there's even greater benefit when you're having multiple groups go back to the same place and build on the work that was left there, maybe the previous trip or with some of the ongoing partnerships. So I think our local ministries and partners that are down in Paraguay would say, keep coming, because the momentum's growing and we can do so much more now that people are really buying into the value of sport fitting in with helping these underprivileged kids.
Well, I think it's one thing to go into communities and just to do work, but when you're building relationships with people, that's where the true value is. I feel like, especially when you're working with kids, that's how you show them love, and that's how you, just really show them that they're cared for, and then that's where you can bring in the love of God and just the importance of that in everyday life.
There was one day we were in the community, and there was this one boy that I had been spending the last 2 days with when we were there. And one of my teammates brought a Polaroid camera, and I asked if she could take a picture of me and this little boy named Kevin, and so I could give it to him. And we took it, and I was so excited to give it to him, thinking that he would just be so happy. And I hand it to him, and he just starts bawling and wraps his arms around me, and I just was so overwhelmed by it was nothing. It was a Polaroid, but he was so overwhelmed by it. And then after, I put my sunglasses on and went and had a little cry by myself, but just so struck by it was nothing, and he thought it was the world, which was really cool.
I think something that I definitely learned from the people there was what it truly means to trust God, and especially in a place like Paraguay where there's lots of poverty, trusting God you'd think would be harder, but when you compare it to our life here, they trust God way more, and we have a safety net and they don't, but they still put their lives in God's hands, and it's so amazing to even try to comprehend that and try to bring it back to our lives here.
Although here in North America we have a lot of money and we have a lot of possessions, and in Paraguay that's what they are lacking. In North America, we're definitely lacking within community and loving our neighbors, while in Paraguay, they're so fortunate in that they all love each other and just want to give back as best as they can. The biggest thing for me coming back is just feeling extremely grateful for the trip and amazed with how it can actually touch my life and my teammates' lives. Coming home and being so excited for some of my teammates of the way that they encountered the trip and just experienced something new, and our connection together through that. We experienced some amazing things and some incredible people, and to be able to come back and maintain what we learned and the relationships that were expanded and became stronger on that trip.
We've always said that it's more than soccer, and so while we want to be excellent on the field, we want to provide opportunities for our current players, and lots of our alumni have had a chance to experience this, but our current team, many of them first time they've been on one of these international service projects. So there's so many wins. Obviously the group receiving us in country win because they have an extra onus of manpower and human resources and activities and some really cool events that we got to take part and serve in. But I also think there's a great win component for our program, our culture. We want our players to be about others. We want them to realize that they've been given gifts and abilities, particularly in the sport of soccer, but also in just loving and serving others. And so to practically be able to do that, and then to receive from the people that hosted us, to realize how much joy and love and how much community and just to see their outlook on life, even though they have so much poverty from our perspective, they have so much richness in terms of what they can offer us and what we can learn as we appreciate the things we have back here in Canada.